Did you recently find out that you're an INFP, and now that your mind is blown, you're curious, what does INFP mean? Like, you're kind of starting to piece it together. You're like, oh my God, this could be it. This could be the key to understanding myself at a deep level and actually feeling complete and not broken, and being able to move ahead with my life and all the desires and dreams that I have. Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you more about what does INFP mean. What's up, legend? It's Sherman here from Geek Psychology, where I help geeks, gamers, and creatives to understand and leverage their personality type so that they can play life better. So if you have some sense of geek within you, or gamer, or you're at least a little bit creative, then you'll be able to follow along with this video. And I apologize for the construction outside. There's not much I can do about it. Besides wait it out and not film, and that's not the right thing to do. When I actually learned that I was an INFP, like I took the test back in middle school or high school or something like that, and I was like, okay, that's cool, but then I forgot about it. And then maybe about 8 to 10 years ago or something like that, I heard about it again, and I heard it explained by Personality Hacker, and it just all resonated with me, and it really set in, and it brought tears to my eyes because I felt so just seen and understood. And that is something that I think is an amazing gift, and something that I want to share with everybody else too, as much as I can, because although it is just a model of understanding yourself, it's also a model of understanding other people and understanding how to leverage your strengths and kind of shore up some of your weaknesses, improve on them too if necessary, so that you can do the things that you want in your life that inspire you and that really like fit your identity. Before we get started, I want to say that I call INFPs the Innovating Empath as like a character class within a game, because I feel that using labels properly can really help you shape your life and can give you a lot more, like a stronger belief foundation, which changes what you learn and what you do and how you inspire other people and the actions that you take, and thus your environment as well. It really makes a big impact. So make sure that you use good labels and things that really resonate with you. So let's get into the explanation of the INFP. So I'm going to explain in this video kind of by going through the different cognitive functions, but I'm not going to give you a lot of technical terms because I don't really think that's helpful. I know some people will go into hundreds of different variations of all the different personality types, and it gets really complicated, and I don't think that's really necessary. I think there's a point for it, there's a place for it, but I would rather have kind of some practical, actionable understandings and terms, and also kind of bring in some fantastical elements too. So that's my approach to it. I personify a lot of things, and if you're an INFP, then I'm sure you do too. So first up, you have your primary strength. This is what I call your class, and this is the class of the empath. This is technically called introverted feeling. It's a way of making decisions and judgments based off the information that you've gathered. This is the realm of the heart or feelings. And as an empath, you are the character who stays true to yourself no matter what. You likely fight for what's right, seek inner harmony, embrace individuality, support one-on-one, and reflect deeply on emotions. That explanation right there was probably like, Yep, that's me. And that's just one of the characters, the pieces, the parts, the aspects within you. And the empath's approach to life, to problem solving and things like that, is through resonating. This is when you tap into your feelings or your conscience. We spend a lot of time in our feelings and in our values and seeking our identity and trying to understand through that. I mean, look at that. Look at this shirt. It says, "Don't think, feel." I love this shirt. This shirt is me. So good. And as an INFP, using this empath class, we really focus a lot on our core values. What's really important to you, to me, as an INFP? A lot of times we don't necessarily have the language for it. We don't know what to call it. Sometimes we do, though, but a lot of times it's more of a kinesthetic thing, which is why within the I Now Feel Positive Masterclass, INFP Masterclass, we go into identifying your values and using those as decision-making, processes. But also another aspect of the empath is to empathize. And so when we're trying to make a decision that's involving somebody else, and we're like, well, what do we do? Like, to make this a better situation, or we see somebody else who is in a bad state, worried, crying, or whatever it is, we don't necessarily act on their need and their suffering, their struggle. We internalize it, and then we process through it. Like, when was the last time I felt something like that? And, what would be going on through me right now if that were me? So we put ourselves into their position to understand what we would want to have happen within that situation. And then we can act from there. And also we have conviction. Conviction is extremely important to INFPs. Because of this empath character, we want to know that we're doing the right thing. We're doing something that is like meaningful in the world. I've talked to so many INFPs who are just like, I hate my job. One, because it's a 9-to-5 templatized job, but also because like it doesn't really require me being there. It's okay if it's somebody else doing it, but I want it to be me. I want my unique aspects to be involved in this job, in this pursuit, whatever it is. And when an INFP becomes convicted, when an empath is convicted about what they do or what they want to do, there's no stopping them. Right? But it sometimes takes a while to get to that point. And then we have prized possession. Prized possession is like there's like these little trinkets and things that we really attach parts of our identity to. Things that are just, it could even be just a puppy. It could be a picture. It could be like this shirt, something that like really, really resonates with who we are and our identity. And we tend to hold on to a lot of those things, and it makes it difficult to throw them away. But also this is with other people too. Like, we invest a lot of our time and our emotions, more specifically, into the other person. And we process like, well, how would they be feeling? What are they going through? Who is this person? We really try to understand that one-on-one, which makes them a prized possession as well, which could lead to some stalker tendencies as well. Not that I know about that. The secondary strength, which is what I call the edge, is innovating for the INFP. Technically, this is extroverted intuition. This is the realm of the mind and ideas and imagination. And when you innovate as your approach to reality, your secondary approach, you think outside the box to quickly generate possibilities. This is where you're playing with ideas, you're brainstorming, you're imagining what if. This is what takes you and your identity and allows it to go to different planets, different fantasy worlds, invest in a book and like put yourself in that character. This is that like connective glue that lets you do that. This helps us improvise. This lets us be okay with like, well, I'll just kind of take this thing and this thing, mash them together and see what happens, and it'll be okay. I'll figure it out. It also has a lot to do with rehearsing. This is mental rehearsal. Imagining us going through these different sequences, these steps, doing this thing. What if I were to do this? What if I became a movie star? What if I was a clown? What if I went up and hugged this person and said, I love you? Like, it could be anything. What if I jumped in front of a train, right? I'm sorry to get deep and dark with that, but that is something that I personally it goes through my head quite often because I see a lot of trains and I don't know, it's just kind of exploration of ideas. And as an INFP, we do go deep down into some dark realms as well, very often. But this aspect, this innovating edge that we have, is something that gives us more optimism when we embrace it. It lets us explore all the different potential that we could have in the world and all the different possibilities that we could bring out to impact the world. The more you explore, the more you embrace innovating and change and improvising, the more you're going to be happy with your life. As long as it's tied into your identity, of course. Then we also have quippy. This is, bring in puns and little jokes and things like that. Extroverted intuition, this innovating edge is very good at taking a word and springboarding from there and playing with that word and enjoying where it's emerging to. And exploring the physical world, not necessarily for the tangible sensory things, but like connecting the patterns. I moved to Japan when I was 18. It was one of the best things I've ever done in my life because it let me explore different people, different worlds, different cultures. And now you have your secondary weakness. This is technically called your tertiary function. This is the relief aspect of yourself. Stabilizing, which is technically called introverted sensing. This is the realm of the body and experiences. It's about stabilizing. So when you stabilize, you reference past experiences to create or maintain consistency. And consistency is really important for the stabilizing aspect of ourselves. The problem is, it is a secondary weakness. It's not a strength that we have, although we definitely rely on it and we go to it quite often because it's another defensive approach to reality, just like the empath. It's not going out there exploring, being a vanguard, shaking things up all the time, which is our secondary strength, which is our edge. But that's harder for us to do because we naturally have this contained kind of defensive, personal, subjective energy. And so doing more extroverted, outgoing, offensive things can be quite taxing. So it's easier for us to just go to our relief, put our shield up and just play it safe. And stabilizing, and especially how we use it, is really cautious. It's saying don't take those actions. Play it safe. Calm down. Stick with what's comfortable. It's also dutiful. And what I mean by that is like when we are convicted to defend someone or a thing, we really invest a lot of energy into doing that and to making sure that we're devoting a lot of ourselves to it. Also, it's about lessons learned. Lessons learned is pulling from the past and trying to take that and incorporate it into our life. And a lot of times with that and with flashbacks, we tend to get stuck in the negative experiences. We tend to bring out all those times that we made mistakes. And it's a lot of reflecting within the past in order to relieve us from the fear of taking new actions and exploring and going out there and being in the outer world and seeking those dragons. So it's kind of easier for us to deal with our past experiences and not get new, innovating, explorative experiences. And another thing about stabilizing is it looks towards authority. It really wants to have some sort of guidance, someone who has done this before, someone who can just tell us what to do in the situation, because we don't necessarily trust our own experiences or our own ability to handle it until we get more experience and talent points and skill points and stuff like that into innovating. And the last one I'm going to talk about here is your primary weakness. This is your limit. It's like the thing that limits you in your life, and the thing that once you understand where your limit is, you can actually surpass it, by having this, massive amount of energy expended to do the things that you need to do. But this is like that limiting aspect right there. I call it strategizing. It's technically called extroverted thinking. This is the realm of the head and logic. Strategizing is when you decisively organize things to reach a goal. Compartmentalizing, it's effective, optimizes, It's a planner. It rallies up, tells people what to do, delegates, says, suck it up, buttercup. And probably just by explaining that, you're like, ugh, I don't like any of that. And that's because it's the opposite. We spend so much time doing the empath stuff that when it comes to actually organizing tasks and setting a goal and utilizing our resources to get it, we don't really know what steps to take. We don't really know how to do that. So we do struggle with that. And compartmentalizing, like separating our emotions from the situation, is quite difficult a lot of times. Although we can, when we level up our empath, we can get a lot more control over our emotions. And we can be the one who's just completely calm when there's chaos everywhere and people are freaking out, because we've spent a lot of time going through our different, emotional feeling states and how we organize our feelings within ourselves. And yet that's not always the case. And it does take a lot of work. It takes a lot of time and investment to get there. So compartmentalizing emotions it's an on-off thing for us. Sometimes we're very good at it. Sometimes we just get swept over with all these emotions. It's also very effective. Like, what do I need to do to get the goal done? What's the first step? How do I finish it? Boom, 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 boom. Good. It's about optimizing, doing the little tweaks in the outer world to make things run more smoothly. We don't tend to spend a lot of time and energy focused on that. It just kind of feels like a waste in a lot of ways. So we don't do it. Another facet to strategizing is planning. Setting the goals, putting it in our calendar and following through with it, or doing it ahead of time instead of waiting until the last minute and getting this big burst of energy to try to take care of it. I see you. I'm watching you. It's quite a difficult aspect of ourselves that limits us and limits our potential in a lot of ways as well. And then rally. This is delegating, saying, suck it up, buttercup. Hey, you, just do it. Do your job. Do the thing that you got to do. That can be really difficult for us, and it's just something that we naturally struggle with. So what have I said in this video that has really resonated with you? I want you to write down below. Let me know what it is, because I'm always looking to refine the language that I use so that I can communicate these better, so that I can help more people and have, the words that really inspire people, which is why I call the INFP the Innovating Empath, because it's just like, if you use that identity label, you can really see a lot of potential in yourself. Like, I'm the one who innovates, that really, bonds with another person one-on-one and helps them see the world in a different way. Like Walt Disney or, actors, William Shakespeare, something like that, writers too. It's tapping into that emotional aspect and then innovating from there, and having that as your identity instead of I'm broken can do so much for your life, because it reflects down and it trickles down into all different aspects of your life. So let me know down below what it was that I said that really resonated with you, and share with somebody else. Share with somebody else who wants to know more about you, or you want them to know more about you, or other INFPs. Keep up the lifelong questing. Good luck, have fun. Make sure you check out inowfeelpositive.com, and I hope you have a good life. See you soon. Bye.